Will 2026 be the year that the housing price finally crash? Does it seem like you're always trying to buy the house, but housing in Singapore is becoming impossible to afford? Or are you secretly hoping the price will actually crash so that you can buy into the market and you're timing the market right now? So in today's video, I'll actually share with you the myths and also the facts about the Singapore market and whether the price will continue to crash for 2026 property market. So these are some of the myths that I've been hearing from the market, and some of the clients have been asking me, is the HDB market going to crash? How come my HDB is taking such a long time to sell? Or some of you might even say HDB is actually the safest in the market today because the private condo prices are so high. And some of you may have other thoughts like that the resale private condo is actually having a discount soon. Let's just wait and time the market because 2026 will crash. So are all these actually myths or actually facts in the Singapore market? I'll be sharing with you with statistics from the Singapore URA data and also the HDB market so that we can know what is the next step best forward for you to do in 2026. So how I will go through this video is, firstly, I will talk about the HDB statistics, then the private market statistics, and also the new launch private condo market statistics. Next will be followed by the buyer and seller tips that you can do today for the 2026 so that you are actually not missing out on any opportunities. So this is actually the HDB resale price index. When you look at this number, what do you think? Is the number actually going up or is the number actually going down? So when we look at the price index for the HDB resale market, generally you will see that the price have been increasing since 2024 and over the year since COVID 2019. But if you actually analyze into the per quarter change percentage, you'll notice that every quarter after the HDB adjustment, the quarterly increase in terms of the percentage have been dropping in the long run. So it used to be 2.7%, and before COVID it was around 3% every quarter, then 2% every quarter, 1% every quarter, close to 1%, and now it's very close to 0% every quarter before the COVID-19 HDB increased price trend. So in fact, for the Q3 of 2025, the HDB have also noted that this is actually the slowest and the lowest quarter-on-quarter increase since the Q2 2020, and the resale volume is actually much lower than last year by 10%. So if you look at the HDB price trend in the long run, you will see that in the long run, the HDB price trend is definitely increasing. But if you were to zoom in on what happened after the COVID 2019 and soon from 2020 the price start to increase, we do see a same pattern here. So what is the pattern? Do you see a price increase over here followed by a stagnant, and then it starts to drop, and from the top of this to here is from 2013 all the way to 2021. So what does this mean? It means that if you miss the period to sell, you will take another 8 years to reach the same exact price as your house is today. Which means that if you are following the market right, you'll notice that your price is no longer increasing. Maybe from this month to next month, the price have actually dropped by 1k, 2k, 3k, and this actually are telltale signs that the HDB market starting to slow down and to drop. So of course in this case, there could be 3 scenarios. Number 1, the HDB price will continue to increase. Number 2, the HDB price stays stagnant. And number 3, the HDB price starts to drop. However, if you're looking at the graph itself, I'm sure you can see an obvious sign. And why are the HDB resale price starting to drop or starting to stabilize is because there have been a lot of ramp up of BTO nowadays. So you see a lot of BTOs, they are priced very, very cheap. For example, if I can get a BTO for a price of 400,000, why should I buy a resale that is maybe 700,000 for the same size? Why not I continue to rent outside while I wait for a sales of balance or like a BTO to come to actually reach the queue? A lot of young families and buyers, they are opting for BTO instead of resale flats, and you do see the demand for the overall starting to drop. So when the demand drops and when the supply increase due to BTO, that's when you see the price starts to stabilize or stagnant. I'm sure you can see the 2026 HDB market moving forward. So if today you're a HDB seller, then I'm concerned if you continue to hold. What if you are, number 1, being priced out? Number 2, your HDB price continue to stay stagnant for the next 8 years. What are your plans moving forward? Is it better if you take an action now, or instead of 8 years later, which will be in 2036 or 2037? Is that too late for you because you will need 8 years or even longer to catch up based on this price trend graph over here from the HDB website? So this is the HDB trend for 2026. Maybe it's time for HDB crash. I don't know. We can see the market and monitor. So these are private residential market statistics. excluding executive condo, so it excludes EC, there's no EC statistics involved here, and this is from the URA website. So from quarter to quarter increase, we can see that overall the price have been still increasing slowly and steadily over the different quarters, and the take-up rate is also very healthy. For the pipeline, it actually refers to the pipeline of the different lands from the government land sales that are available. The government have been monitoring the market and releasing different government confirmed land sales so that there's enough pipeline in the whole entire market so that the price is stabilized. For the private properties, similar to HDB, they have more supply of BTOs, but for private, they have more supply of GLS, which is government land sale. And for vacancy rate, it refers to the rate whereby after TOP, the owners have collected a key, but they're not staying inside the house. So we do see a very healthy of the vacancy rate also for the newer private condos in the market. So overall, you can see that the private market is still growing very healthily and steady. And if we look in the long run, how is the graph looking like? This is the graph since 2020 Q4, and overall you have been in the uptrend for the whole entire property price index, and based on Q3 2025, it is 215 PPI. This is around 0.9% increase from the previous quarter of Q2 2025. So overall, I can see that there's still a very consistent and steady slow growth of the private property market in Singapore. At the moment, there isn't any huge signs showing that it will start to crash because the number of pipeline in the market is still very stable, around 36,000 from the government land sales to ensure that the supply is actually meeting the demand. So your next question might be, if the price is not crashing, how come my house is taking so long to sell? A lot of demand have moved from the resale private market to actually the new launch market, because the new launch market, there are a few factors. Number one, the harmonization is actually helping to make the quantum much more affordable, and also the efficiency of the layout because of the harmonization floor plans, and that's why a lot of demand have moved on to the new launch market. So should you then make a next move to either a resale or new launch market, I'll actually explain in the next slide. And before I continue, remember to help me like and subscribe, because I've put in a lot of effort and this will really help me and my channel so that a lot of people will get to benefit from also watching this video and making the right choice for their property. So how do you know whether timing the market is correct and whether you are timing the market correctly? We'll look at actually one of the factors, which is the land bid price, because land bid price will in fact affect the break-even price and then affect the average transacted price of the whole entire development. So these are actually some of the new launches that have been transacted and launched in 2025, and I'll compare it to 2026 next year so that you will see what's the difference between waiting for 2026 to crash or doing an action right now. So overall, one important trend that you can see is that a lot of the land bid price are increasing. It used to be very close to 1,000, 1,200, but you can see that as the land bid price continue to increase, even Alta that is in Clementi area, the land bid price was 1,200. And also you can see some of the earlier land bid price, if their developer is very smart and lucky, they may be able to get a cheaper land bid price, which will equate to a lower average PSF in the whole entire district. And a lot of new launches in the future, you will start to see it's very normal for them to have 1,300 PSF PPR for the price land bid ratio. And what does it actually mean? Take a look at the average price. So for instance, if the land bid price is around 905, you will have an average price of 2,100. Having a higher average price of 1,100, your average price will also start to increase to 2,794. And if your land bid price continue to increase, let's say 1,280 plus, your average price for the whole entire development will be 2,943, which was seen at Sky at Holland. And then if we move on to other examples, River Green, whereby the land bid price was 1,420, the average PSF was 3,100. So with higher land bid price, definitely we see a correlation. Land bid price equals to increase in the transacted price of the whole entire development. So in 2026, what is happening? These are all the different new launches will be coming out in 2026, and these are the land bid price in the black words. So you can see that a lot of developments have started to reach 1,300 for OCR, when in the past it used to be around 1,200, 1,300 for the RCR and also the CCR, which means that the land bid price is starting to slowly increase. And even for the CCR areas, we do also see new high bids for the CCR, whereby the Holland Ling Diamond Road and also the River Valley area, the PSF is around 1,400 for the land bid price. So this means that the price will continue to increase in 2026 for the new launches. So at the moment, we do not see any crash signs whereby the developers are very fearful of the market. So maybe you will say that, oh, the developers are dumb. But what are the chances that all the developers are not making the right action? Because all these developers, they do bid for the land fairly and they do make their calculations to ensure they are making profit. But not one, but a lot of developers, they feel that they're confident with their calculations and then they came up with this land bid to win the land bid price. So we do see a trend whereby in 2026, the new launch condo price will continue to increase, which is different from the HDB price at the moment. How about the executive condos? So these are the executive condos that was launched in 2024 and below 2025 and also 2026. So you can see that the land bid price used to be around 600 plus to 700, and in 2025 720 plus is very common. So what's going on for 2026? The land bid price have once again increased, and even for like Woodlands or like Sembawang that is not as central and matured in other areas like Tampines and Pasir Ris, the land bid price is also much higher. So you are paying more in the future for an area that is not as central as before. As you can see, once again, the land bid price have increased, and you can guess what will actually happen to the average PSF, because you can see that from the average PSF used to be 1,004, 1,005, 1,006, now 1,007, and in the future maybe 1,008, 1,009 is actually a common trend in Singapore for executive condos. So before the price increase, you really need to consider, should I continue to time the market? Because at this moment, we do not see for the new ECs also to be crashing at this point of time. And even for resale EC, because the new EC price have increased, we see a trend of resale EC also increasing. So it actually leads to another, when the resale EC increase, the new EC also increase. Then the new EC increase, the resale EC price also increase. So it's actually a trend whereby these two are correlating to each other, and overall the price will actually increase. So with the myth that, the 2026 price will actually crash, and we're actually having very crazy price, there is actually not enough demand in the entire Singapore. What I've shown you are the data from URA and HDB that show you that the supply is actually controlled by the government. They are actively monitoring the supply in the market by giving more government land sales and also more BTOs. And one thing you need to know that a lot of buyers today, they do have dual income, which means both husband and wife are earning very, very strong incomes. Also, if they are taking action when they are young, they have much more longer tenure whereby they can borrow for a longer period of time, and also much more healthier loan in the long run. So we also notice that for new launches, they are having more demand as compared to the resale private condos having lesser demand, and maybe the sale is slower. This is because of harmonization, which helps with better efficiency of layout, and also the quantum is much more managed, and that's why there continue to be demand for new launches. So for new launches in 2026, we do see that the price will continue to increase and it will not crash. So these are the tips that I have for all my buyers and sellers. I would like to share with you guys once again. Number one, you should always upgrade and buy as young as you can, because the younger you take action, there is a chance of you having more capital appreciation in the long run, then you can retire more comfortably. So look for a long-term horizon like 10 years, 15 years. Don't just, oh, I'm comfortable right now that I'm not going to take any action. And also consider your budget. You do not need to max out all your entire budget, and it's important for you to have 12 to 24 months of savings. And it's also important for you to talk to a trusted agent that help you to choose the right unit, right development, and plan for you for the next 10 to 15 years. Not just like, oh, right now what should you do, because your exit strategy is very important for you. So have a checklist of what you should consider. And if you have any questions, feel free to private message me at the number on top so that you can know what you should do next. So in a summary, is the whole entire Singapore market going to crash in 2026? At this moment, I do not see any signs of it crashing, because the supply is actually very healthy, the demand is very healthy, and also the interest rate is starting to drop. So when the interest rate actually start to drop, you will see that usually there's more demand from the market, because right now the mortgage is also cheaper for them, and that will in turn change to more demand, and then the price will continue to increase. So that's what I feel for the market in terms of 2026. If any other opinions or ideas, feel free to PM me or write down in the comment section. I'll actually read and reply to you. So that are my thoughts for today. So thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.